Hello, this is Kwenje Banda. I'm from Lusaka, Zambia, and you are listening to the Wally podcast. Or precast? Is it precast or podcast? No, you stop that one.
It's not funny. Like, don't make a mockery of this show. I don't care if you are from Lusaka or wherever, Zambia. No, that's awesome. Yeah, it is the precast. I mess that up all the time. I'm like, oh, here's the podcast. Nope, precast. But you are part of the precast, and I love the fact that this person is from Zambia.
Yeah, Lusaka. Been there.
Yeah, we've been there. I love Zambia. One of my favorite places. We were told that, because we traveled there, and we traveled with Bloodwater to different parts of Africa, and we were going to go to Zambia to see the truck that we got last year during our Drill It and Fill It campaign starting to work in Zambia, and they're like, you can't come right now. We're like, why? And they're like, it's not safe because they're doing elections, and in these third world countries, you think we have it bad with people calling each other names. There are riots in these countries, and it's dicey, and so our contact over there is like, man, it's just not, it wouldn't be good for you guys to come right now. It's just bad timing.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend who she's been to Uganda a few times, and she knows someone there right now who's trying to adopt, and the adoption went through, everything is good, but they're having elections as well, and so they can't leave the country. And they said that the current president even is trying to turn off the internet, and there's all these things that they're trying to control people from seeing different messages and stuff. It's crazy.
I've always wondered where that switch was, too, the internet switch, where you just shut it all down. Yeah, sorry, back to the Stone Ages. But I mean, these are the worlds that people live in that we take for granted. I know we get bent out of shape and we argue about politics and all that stuff, but man, it's a different ballgame in these third world countries during elections. We've had to hide out before in a place till a protest went by, and that was in Haiti. We got caught up in the middle of one in Africa, that protest driving, walking through the streets. That was scary.
Then you jumped out of the car.
Yes, I did.
Hey, let's go see what's going on. Zach, you stay here.
Yeah, I didn't want to be in the, truth be told, I didn't want to be in the car.
I was the only fool left in the car.
I didn't want to die in the car. I see them flip cars over, and then you're trapped. At least the other way, I think I got somewhat of a fighting chance of running or something, and I did not want to be stuck in that car. But thank you for keeping my luggage safe. Zach, I will protect your laptop at all costs. Yeah, so I mean, it's just, we take it for granted, man. It gets a little messy. So a couple things we want to follow up on. We had our meeting the other day. We were talking about that in the podcast. Like, oh, what's this meeting going to be? And it actually was not horrible, just long.
3 hours long.
I stayed awake the whole time. I'm pretty happy about that.
That's a sign of a productive meeting that's engaging.
For me, yeah.
Yeah. I promise you would walk out of that meeting feeling like, oh, that was worth the time, right?
Yeah, well, I think so. I mean,
3 hours is a lot, but yeah.
No, I think so. Like, it was, strategy for the show and this, that, and the other, and things to, implement little things to try and make the show better. We already started some of that. You don't even know about it, see? It's that subtle. I mean, honestly, none of it was earth-shattering. Maybe not worth 3 hours, but lunch was good.
Yeah.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yeah, that was good. I'll tell you, man, Chipotle, it's worth the whatever that horrible disease is that you can get from E. coli. It's worth the risk of E. coli because their steak burrito is the best steak burrito on the planet.
I thought you were a vegetarian.
Well, that was a lie to that one guy that wanted to sell me steak out of the back of his truck.
No.
Yeah, but I'm done with that. I was a vegetarian for about 5 seconds. In that moment, I really meant it. I'm going to go home and have broccoli. It didn't happen, so now I'm back on the meat wagon. So good. No one was fired as a result of that meeting, so that was nice.
Yay.
Yeah, that's always good. A couple other things, like another meeting that happened was Becca and her Cool Girl lunch.
Yes.
Oh, look at you. You're beaming. Cool Girl lunch.
Did that happen? It was yesterday. Oh,
okay.
my gosh.
There's a friend of hers that they decided to go out to lunch, and Becca thinks this girl is cooler than her, so Becca was so excited to go to lunch with her, and Becca even had to push back the lunch, and the girl didn't cancel.
I know.
That had to
Big
make you
step.
feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was leaving here to go meet her, I texted Joey to let him know, and he texted back, have fun and be normal.
Joey knows you.
Yes.
Yeah, Joey knows you. Like, Joey knows you could get, weird all of a sudden, just because you get nervous, and then you're going to ruin Cool Girl lunch. lunch.
I know, but I think I did okay.
Yeah.
I think I did. It feels so much like dating because like at the end of the date,
yes.
like,
what happened?
we hugged and
Okay.
I was like, thanks for having lunch. I just really respect you. And she goes, yeah, you're someone that I see on like when we're together. I'm like, oh, we should connect more. And I'm like, oh, did you really say that?
Yeah, but did anybody at that point make that next appointment? Because this is like, you're right, it's just like dating. Did anyone say, hey, you know what, you want to grab lunch again sometime? Like, I think we should do this again?
We did it hypothetically. We did it, set a date.
But
is that bad?
No, but you at least had the conversation of, we should do this again?
Yeah, we
okay,
did. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I think it went well.
But whose responsibility is it to...
Oh, I don't know. I asked her this time.
Oh, then you have to wait for her.
I do. Oh, boy.
Because then if you ask her again, that's really needy.
Desperate. That is very desperate. You're right.
But then she might be insecure too, and you don't know. And if you don't ask her, maybe she's like, oh, what was wrong with me?
And I do think that's something that's jacked up about our culture because we just don't do friendships well, and everyone waits for the other person to take the step, and so we end up everyone just sits at home watching Netflix.
Yeah, it's just like the Christian Mingle slogan. It's like like you're always waiting for God to make the first move, and God's like, hey, it's your turn. Like, I think that's their slogan.
Is that their slogan?
I really think that's
Wow. Word.
I'm paraphrasing, but that is the basic gist of their slogan I heard on a
I don't
commercial.
know if I feel that way about our society. I feel like I'm changing, but I feel like if people want to connect, they ask. Like, I don't feel like there is that.
But you have a lot of established friendships. Like, I've lived here for 3 years.
That's true.
And as an introvert, I don't have as many established friendships, and I'm building them,
That's
and they're
true.
getting there. But it starts with these awkward first dates.
Yeah.
And I think if I had moved, like, let's say this was a new place for me and I didn't have those established friendships, I probably would be in the same boat as you. But to a degree, I kind of am, because my established friendships are about an hour drive from me, and they're all married with kids. So they can't
different
do
stage of
stuff
life.
all the time. And then, my schedule at work is very odd. And then I have school when I'm not working. So I feel like over the weekends, it's more like, I'm such a loser. Well,
No.
but it's because I think I've changed also. Like, for some reason, my tolerance for certain personalities
Don't look at me when you say
has
that.
really gone down.
Don't look at me.
And that's
I'm
not
even. I'm
good.
closing my eyes.
Stop. I don't know why I'm turning that way. Like, I feel like I'm becoming more, I don't know if jaded is the word, but it's like that. I don't feel like I have good options for people that I could call and just hang out with them, because I feel like they're very needy or they're very high strung.
Here's what I think's happening. When you're younger, you tolerate more, and it even happens in your marriages. Like, you'll tolerate more when you're first married and stuff. But I think the older you get, the less tolerance you have for just kind of nonsense. And so I think it's just it's just growing. It's growing up, and like you cut that stuff out of your life. And so somebody that was a dramakazi or somebody that was needy prior to, where you saw the other fun side of them, you get to the point where you're like, it's not worth it.
Right, because I did have two good friends, that I was close to, but I feel like we've kind of drifted apart. But I feel it's because I'm kind of seeing a different side of them now as we've gotten more comfortable with each other.
Right.
And it's what I like, I don't see. And I hope that doesn't sound judgmental, but it's more like after I'm with them, I feel drained. Does that make sense?
Well, that makes sense to every
And it's
introvert
like,
in the room.
Geez, I don't. But I don't feel that way with my established friends, like the ones that are married and have kids. Like,
Right.
I leave there and I'm like, I don't want to leave. But some of these other friends that I'm making, I'm kind of like, I don't really. It's just so much. I have to prepare myself for it. Does that makes me sound like a jerk? I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't make you sound like a jerk, but it's just I don't understand it because I'm like an extrovert. But when I talk to you guys, it's like to hear you talk about how it's hard to have friendships, or I'm drained by the interaction and things like that. That's not a world I live in. Except I'm the one draining people, so like I never feel it,
Well, but you've talked too about like it is hard to make. To establish friendships
As you get older.
Oh yeah.
Because like when I think back to my best friend, like I've never had the best friend, but like my good friends growing up were in, we were in college together and high school together, and so we were just around each other all the time. But when you're an adult, that doesn't happen as much.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're an adult, it has to be couple friends. That's where it really gets messed up too. Is like if your wife likes the wife, then they want to force fit the husbands together, and that doesn't always work. Like I've had that happen where it's just we weren't going to be friends. It wasn't like anything bad. We didn't have anything in common. Fortunately, with like Molly and Greg, like me and Molly are exactly alike, and Greg and Marty are exactly alike. So it works so well. That's why we can travel with them. We're going on vacation with them tomorrow, and we've gone with them before out of the country and stuff. And like just a good family because they're a lot like us. And but like we don't drain each other. But like I never had that real tight knit group of friends that I went through everything with and grew up with and had for the rest of my life. I've never really had that.
Yeah, it always seemed like everybody else had it in high school.
Yeah,
like I grew up during the Friends era, the TV show, and all my friends were recreating that exact drama.
Right,
but I was never in that circle of
I
friends.
get that.
I never had that in high school, but when I got to college, and I think that it's just a high pressure situation, and you're living in a dorm full of like 500 girls. Like it's very different. And I created the very best friendships. And we've drifted a bit, but they're still some of the closest friends that I would say, because you see them every single day.
Yeah,
but,
like if you were to ask me right now, do you have a best friend? I couldn't say that I have a best friend here other than Toby. Like,
Oh,
not
my
even
word.
Zach?
well, no, Zach and I, like, we're friends, but like Zach,
Not best friends.
well, we
You're
don't
not besties.
We don't do a lot of stuff
don't have the
outside of work.
necklaces.
No, we don't. Like, we don't do a lot of stuff outside of work because we're very different. We used to do stuff more socially back before your
Right.
diabetes,
Right.
and then Anna.
Back when our diets were aligned.
Yes, exactly. When we were both having s'mores like every other day, it was awesome, and bread. But then, like now, he's at a different place in his life too with Anna, and so they're at a different stage of life. And that happened with one of my friends who I was very close with here, and then they got into a different stage of life as well. And it just like for you, Betty, it just kind of morphs
yes.
different ways.
And I'm truly blessed when I think about it. Like, I mean, being 30, almost 31, and still single, like as you get older, you can find those girls that are in the same boat as you, but you feel like when you're with them, all they talk about is finding someone, and you just feel like the second wheel to the dream that they're carrying around with them.
Right.
And it's like, are you just killing time to be with me? Like, I feel like they don't really want to be with me, so why would I care to be with them?
And does it feel like it's conversations you've had over and over, and you just don't care to have the same conversation?
and that's draining in itself. But the friends that I'm really close to, like I met them when I was 18, so right out of high school. I guess they could be my college friends since I didn't go to college back then. But they were from the church that I tried out on my own, and like everyone was the same age as me. Everyone was in the same boat. But then slowly and gradually they started meeting people and they started
Right.
having kids. And so now I'm in that boat where I'm babysitting their kids. But for some reason, we've still stayed so close. And I appreciate that because they never leave me out of anything or make me think that I'm the oddball. Like
yeah, I think that's hard.
they're
Like
good for me. You know,
like
they
when-
treat me well.
When we went to the escape game, and then we went out to dinner or something like that, and we were all kind of sitting down, and there's sometimes you say things that make me sad when you're like, oh, I'm just over here without a date or whatever, and it's like because I never see you as a third wheel. Like I love being around you. I love having you around us, and I can see how from your perspective it would feel that way.
I think what it is I'm trying. I think I've mentioned this a couple shows ago. I've realized where my insecurities are, and I don't like it. Like I want to change it. So I'm working on that. But I feel like one of my biggest insecurities is the fact that I feel like everyone is looking at me thinking I'm a pathetic loser, and that I'm not saying y'all are doing that, but I feel
none of us do.
But I kind of feel like it's the thing that everyone's thinking. So I have to just kind of bring up the elephant in the room kind of thing.
Right.
Like I even feel like the waiter and the waitress is like, okay, and now who's together? Who are you with? And
I
like
hate
all of
that
y'all are
part.
saying,
Right.
well, these two are with me.
Right.
This family over here is
Because you
with
feel
me.
like you have single stamped on your
yeah,
forehead.
and so
Right.
I'm the one that has to say, oh, I'm by myself, and I try and bring some comedy
Make
to it.
up a story like, oh, my husband passed away.
Oh my
we were high
gosh,
school
no.
sweethearts, and then make that person feel bad. Try that. I don't
No,
know.
I'm trying to work on that insecurity and make it where I'm more comfortable with being who I am without society telling me that I'm not good enough. If that makes sense.
I do get that, and and I don't. And again, that's where you personalize things that maybe are. It's you make it something that it's not, because I don't think anybody is thinking that. But I totally understand where I see people, and I think they're judging me for this, that, or the other when they're probably not even giving it a second thought. But you internalize it and you make that your narrative.
Well, and like I don't think I dated till I was 25, and so that was very much a core part of my identity. Like it became my identity, and then I felt like I couldn't date because that would completely destroy my identity. I was so intertwined with like the guy who's never had a girlfriend.
Also, too, and if you dated just one girl, it's not fair to the other. How many millions of girls are on the planet?
I felt like I was breaking millions of hearts.
I know that's not right, and
No.
I respect you though for just getting married and being done with it. Like that was it. One and out.
One and done.
One and done. That was it.
I like that.
Yeah, I think people would have maybe a different perception of you, like maybe in your friend status, because this is the one thing that people don't understand about you, and it's something that I've not understood fully. Is like you're like, okay, I want to. Because it's fair to say I want to get married and I want to have a family and this, that, and the other. But when no one ever sees you date anybody, then I think that leaves us going, I don't get it. Because to find that person that you're going to, you know that old saying of to find your prince, you got to kiss a few frogs.
Right.
And so no one sees you ever put yourself out there to date anybody. And maybe you do and you don't share that with us. Maybe that's
we found that out in the past.
yeah, but I still think that was a lie.
But there's something that I respect about Betty is that she knows what she wants.
I get that.
I don't think she's going to waste time. Like, and I think that's a good thing, and a good thing to even like teach Haley. It's like, don't waste your time on the boy that you know isn't going to be the one.
Right.
See, and I fully understand that, and we've had that conversation with Haley. You know, in high school, it's like it's not worth the drama to be with somebody that doesn't tick off, you know, the boxes for you, and so wait until you find that one. Yeah, I do think that Betty, when she dates this person and brings them around, it's like, oh, that will be the one, because she is so selective.
But you can't give it that kind of pressure.
What's that?
Like that expectation that she'll.
Oh, I just think that will be the case, but it's not.
Yeah, I think it could be, but like that would be unfair pressure on her to like, all right, you can't date anyone until it's
You know it's the
for
one,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, I
then
would
you'll
never
never
say
find
that.
the one.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
mean,
would
that
never
is what
say
you just
that.
said.
No, I'm saying when she actually does, I think it will be the one when
Right.
she does. My thing is you meet other people and sometimes you find out, kind of like jobs, you find out what you don't like when you interact. And there are some things that there might be this one character trait that you think, oh, that person's definitely off of my radar. But then you get to know them and you find all these other things about them. And either you had a misconception about that one thing or it turns out to not be an issue. But you never know that if you don't try. You know what I
Right,
mean?
I know, but I think I've said this before. I try and find out through being friends with them first.
Right.
Like, I mean, I've worked here for 9 years, I guess now, you know, coming up on 9 years. And there have been guys in the past where when I've been working here, not guys that I work with, Lord
Right.
help me.
Yeah.
No, but, you know, guys that I've gone to church with or guys that I've met in a mutual group of friends.
Right.
And I have been interested to get to know them better.
A guy that worked here?
No, Lord, no.
Okay. I thought
Are you listening at all?
No. She was looking at me and Zach, but she said that there were guys that worked here. Like
no,
I thought
said
you were
when
saying,
I was working here.
Okay.
No.
I thought you
No,
said
no.
there were some people that like
Anyway.
Uncle
Be
Jerry.
very explicit on that
No.
one.
Let me make that clear. No, but so those guys, one of them I found out had no backbone whatsoever, just through being friends with him and finding out that he would just give in to whatever anyone said. So I kind of lost interest
Okay.
after that.
Fair enough.
And another guy that I was interested in had no sense of humor whatsoever.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so
that's
it was
not
like,
for
well,
you.
okay, well then I don't want that either.
100%.
So I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like I have high standards, but I feel like whatever it is I'm looking for doesn't exist, but everyone seems to tell me that's the one. And I think Becca and I have talked about this, where it's like we're in different stages of life where she's a young married girl and everyone's sharing their opinions, whether you want to hear it or not, that you need to have a baby, whether you want to or
Shut
not.
up. I just have some stomach pain. Leave me alone.
So I'm here and I'm fixing to turn 31 and people are saying to me, they think that they've been married 3 months and they go, you know what, you might need to lower your standards.
Right,
because
I don't believe that.
You're way too picky. Like that's ridiculous.
No,
but that makes me
I don't believe
mad
that at all.
because it makes me think, well, why am I not good enough? Like you were good enough to have these qualifications of what you were looking for in a mate, and then I am not allowed to have that same thing. Like don't share your opinion with me because I could care less.
And I know a lot of single guy friends just through Joey. Like he has a lot of the guys he works with and he's on the
Right.
road with and stuff are single, but I would not think to set you up with any of them because they're not good enough for you.
Exactly.
Like,
But that's the problem.
and I know that
Like,
doesn't make you feel better. I'm just telling you that I don't see the problem with you at all.
so maybe there are high standards where it's like I'm expecting to find this good godly leader that's not going to give in to what other people say. They have a good sense of humor. They're tall.
Those are all.
Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Wait, that's way too high.
See, you
High
were great
standards.
till tall. Like at that point, take the short guy. Speaking as a short guy that
Oh,
always got struck out. Like give the short short guy's a break, girl.
No.
But see, again, no, not going to go that way.
Here's the thing,
that's
though,
not a standard.
But that goes to show you that these guys that I've liked in the past, I get to know who they are through a group setting.
Right.
And I can already tell, like, these things I don't
I think
like.
that's
so
completely
I'm not
valid.
100%.
I'm not going to try.
That's where it is, because that's where we're not in your life, where we see you going out with friends after church, or we don't see this or we don't see that, and you don't really talk about that part of your life. So that's where we go, oh, does she just not have any guy friends in her life that she's even looking at as potential people? So that's we don't see it or hear about it. So we're like, okay, is she just going home and then coming to work and going home and coming to work?
Sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah, but that's how. Yeah, that's where you don't meet people, because if you,
I know.
what's that thing? If you miss 100% of the shots you don't take,
right?
And so it's.
But yeah, like my wife and I were friends for 6 months before we started dating, and I think that's a completely valid way to get to know someone.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, that's
agree.
better than just, quick one-off dates with lots of people. But there's people that they're wired for that way too. I just don't understand that. But
I think you just have to fight the jaded side, because it's frustrating to hear how everyone's stories just worked out. Oh, I was just with a mutual friend and they knew someone and it just happened. Or, oh, I just tried a new church and in that new church was, in my past, since I've been 18, I've tried I don't know how many different churches, and there have been no people that have stood out to me. The ones that have not been right. And so I feel frustrated when it's like, oh, well, they just landed in my lap. Oh my gosh, how did that happen? And me, it's like I have to fight to even find someone that even would put any interest out there. I don't know. Like I just
No, I understand what you're saying. I would never say
so I get
lower your
frustrated.
standards.
It's like, well, then I don't want to
lower your standards.
I'm tired of trying churches. Like, I'm just going to stick to one, and if he comes, great. If he doesn't, fine.
There you go. That's not a problem. Oh, my family just showed up because we are headed out for vacation.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about something really quickly.
Yes.
Right now it is 9:16 a.m. as we record this podcast.
Yes.
When is your flight?
2:30.
And they're coming now to pick you up?
Oh, yeah. I told my wife I would drive home and we would go later. And I know she's like, it's probably better if we just go now, because you don't know if the lines are going to be bad, because, we're flying out of the country. So could the terrorist thing in Brussels affect us? I'm like, no, we're flying to Atlanta first. Like, that's not going to affect us.
Let's say you get there at 10.
Yeah.
That'll give you 4.5 hours.
Oh, yeah, I got plenty of time. More than enough time. But she's a nervous flyer, and so she would rather sit at the airport 3 hours early, and I'd rather get there 30 minutes early. So, yeah, that's where we're at
during
right now.
spring break, there can be these flash lines at the Nashville airport that all of a sudden it's a 2-hour wait to get to security.
So you don't know, but this time frame is insane.
Will you please start a timer from, I don't know,
the time you get to your gate till the time you board.
Or
a
the time
timer,
it takes to get to my gate.
Yeah, so from the time you park, because I know you're trying a new parking service.
Right.
That's another
That is
thing
so
she's nervous
great.
about.
Yeah.
So from the time you park your car, put it in park, to when you get to your gate. Like,
I will do that.
Time that.
I will do that.
And then probably rub it in her face.
What's funny too is we were talking last night, Marty and I, about the trip, because we're going to London, and so there was the terror attack in Brussels, and so people over there are on alert. I guarantee you, we're going to see M16s in Heathrow Airport, because it's like 2 countries over, but. I was talking about it, and my daughter kind of walked in, my wife and I, and my wife got like quiet real quick, and I'm like, what? She's like, Haley's here. I'm like, Haley's 17. and Haley goes, are you guys talking about the Brussels thing? And Marty's like, how did you know about that? She goes, Mom, there's the internet. Like, Marty thought that Haley had heard nothing about the terrorist attack in Brussels and was like trying to protect her from it. And I'm like, man, honestly, I said, I'm not wigged out at all about this. It's like, you cannot live your life in fear. You have to go and enjoy life. And, if something bad were to happen, then it happens. And, you know where you're going when you die. Don't worry about it.
That's not the little tune you were singing when we went to Ghana and we were leaving. You're like, oh, I'm the only one on this flight. I'm the one that's going going to die.
I knew for
so
sure.
long, everyone. This is the last time I'm seeing you.
I know.
Like, geez,
I knew.
Mr. Positive Ray of Sunshine.
Without a shadow of a doubt, I was going to die on that trip, and I'm so surprised I'm still here. I'm dumbfounded that I'm still here.
You got to live your life. You know where you're going.
Oh, I know,
Totally fine.
but I just had resigned myself to dying. There's a difference.
You're for sure going to die on this one because your entire family's with you, and I just feel that's fair.
Oh my gosh, Becca! If that happens,
That is horrible.
we have it on record.
Save this
It's gonna
podcast
hurt so
forever.
bad.
Don't let Marty hear this. She will cancel the trip
I
right
still
now.
have that
Yeah.
agreement that you made. I get your TV.
You do get my
remember?
TV. I do.
Why
remember
wouldn't
that.
you go
Can
for
I have
like
your
his
other
house?
TV that's identical?
You can have the other one. Yeah,
Can
you
I get the kitties?
Yeah. Oh, please take the cats.
Really?
They need a good
you guys
home.
are going for small change.
I don't want his girl truck. That's for sure. I don't want to be seen in that.
That's fair.
All right.
We can
so
sell it, split the money.
Oh,
I
okay.
have already spent far too much time here. I have a plane to catch in 5 hours.
And we're bartering for your belongings.
I know. I'm not even dead yet, Rock.
We'll figure it out while you're gone.
Thank you. If you
We'll
guys don't mind.
We'll figure it out while you're walking to the airport.
Okay, are you guys going to do precast while I'm gone next week? Not tomorrow because it's Good Friday, and happy Good Friday in advance.
Yeah, as long as everyone else. I'm going to be here all week. I think
Zach?
Zach's
I
going to take
think
some
I'm going to
days
be here
off.
Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. And
Okay.
then Betty, are you taking some days off?
Not that I know of so far.
Okay, so the days that you guys are here, there will be a precast.
So
and,
if Zach's gone the second half of the week.
Lady precast.
You know what that means? No, it's girl podcast.
Sorry, girl podcast, but it's a precast.
Don't call it lady.
No,
Is
it's
that
a full
worse?
podcast.
Oh yeah, girl podcast. Yay!
Girl podcast.
All right, so there you go. That's something to look forward to there. And I think that is going to do it for the precast. This is the Wally Show. And in life, you have those moments where it's kind of a first. It's the first thing that you've ever done or had happen to you. And I had one of those the other day. And so I'm curious if some of the people who know me best can figure this out. But we'll play a little game. So I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong, but I'm going to give you a couple things of it's something that I've never done before. And I want to see if you what you think, Becca, Zach, and Betty. So here we go. I pogo sticked in my boot because I have a stress fracture on my left foot. So I have a big clunky gray boot on, which I'm sorry. I've tried to accessorize this thing. There is nothing I can do. It's hideous. I've bedazzled it, glittered it, put a scarf around it. Nothing.
You haven't let us sign it.
Oh yeah, because I'm trying to sell it on when I'm done with this thing. Because these things are expensive, so I don't want to have to eat the whole cost of that. I would have bought a used one if I had the option at the
No
time.
way.
Oh, 100% I would have. Okay, so pogo sticked in my boot. Made an in-app purchase. You know how they always get you for the in-app purchases and things like
Is this
that.
when you purchase something through an app?
Yeah,
on your phone? Okay.
like in a game or something,
Okay.
like that add-on. Ran over my neighbor's kids' bikes. We have a cul-de-sac, and there's just kids everywhere, and it's just like Lord of the Flies down there sometimes. And then ate an entire bowl of broccoli. Broccoli.
So this is something
Broccoli.
you did for the first time?
For the first time, yeah. So what do you think?
I'm going to go with the in-app purchase
Okay.
because just the other day we had a conversation about it and you were making fun of us for doing it before
Okay.
because Zach and I have both done so.
Fair enough.
I'm going to say pogo stick in your boot.
Okay.
Because I think this is the first time you've had one of those boots.
It is my first time having a boot.
So I'm thinking
Okay.
maybe that's it.
So right now we're spread across.
How
the-
many pogos do you think he could do before he was out of breath?
oh,
One.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does
I
it
know
maybe
you
Does
need
one
two and
count
a
as a
half.
pogo or is
Yeah.
that just a po?
Yeah, there was no go in my pogo. I can tell you that if that was the right answer, I can tell you that I would not have lasted long.
I was going to guess the in-app purchase, but now I don't know if I can see you figuring that out. There'd be
Fair
some
point.
hang up and you get frustrated and you'd stop. So I'm going to go run over to the neighbor's bike.
Okay, run over the neighbor's bike. So there you go. Those are the three things. We are spread across the board with the members of the show. Now your job is to figure out what is the thing that I did that's something I've never done before. We'll hook you up with a prize as well. 877-91-WALLY is the number. It's 877-91-WALLY. This is the Wally Show, and life is made up of first times that you've done this, that, or the other. And so I had something that was a first for me the other day. And Paul, all you have to do is tell me which you think of these was my first. And you've heard the members of the show make their guesses. Like Becca thought I had made an in-app purchase. Betty thought I had pogo sticked in my boot with my hurt foot. Zach thought I ran over my neighbor's kid's bike. But none of them thought that I ate a bowl of broccoli.
Please.
So, Paul, do you think I ate a bowl of broccoli? broccoli?
Well, I don't know, Wally. You don't seem like you're on the healthy track with that, so I'm going to have to go with the in-app purchase.
In-app purchase, okay.
Yeah.
Going with what
You know?
Becca said. Now, Zach's reasoning
Yeah.
for not picking this was what?
I don't know if you would figure that out.
A little confusing.
You get frustrated.
I do get frustrated. Things have to be...
I think you'd figure that out more than eating a bowl of broccoli.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long have you been listening to the show, Paul? Just curious.
For quite a while. I got stationed here a couple of years ago, and it was one of the first radio stations I actually turned on. So.
Well, very cool. Well, we're glad to have you. And you know me so well, Paul, like that I would not eat broccoli. And you are absolutely right. I made my first in-app purchase. Yeah. You want to know the game?
Was it Candy Crush?
It was Candy Crush.
No, you finally gave in.
Okay.
You brag about how you never do it.
Trust me, I felt so guilty. I'd been on this one level forever, and I was down to I needed one more jelly to blow up to get off this level. So I'm like, okay, one jelly, it's all I need. So I made a 99-cent in-app purchase to give me 5 more moves, and I didn't get it.
No.
Yeah, so then I was angry at that point.
Oh, man.
And so then I think the game knows. I think they know things and they alter because right after that I got off it like 10 minutes later. I'm like, no! So I wasted 99 cents on that in-app purchase and lost my integrity.
Oh my goodness.
Paul, have you ever made an in-app purchase?
Yes, I have. It was like a game where you had to like crash a car or something. I spent a little too much money. Let's just say I regret it a lot.
Paul's like, the prize for this isn't money, is it? Because I could really use it to get out of debt for my in-app purchases.
Yeah.
Well, it's not money, but we are going to send you a prize, Paul, and thank you so much for
All
playing.
right, sounds good.
Here's what's happening in the world today. It's the Wally Show News.
And Becca's going to get you caught up right now with what's going on.
There's still so much mystery surrounding that Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. We just passed the 2nd anniversary of its disappearance without a lot of answers. Last summer, they finally found a piece of debris in the Indian Ocean, and we might have gotten a little bit closer recently to having a better understanding of what happened. Over the past couple of weeks, pieces of debris have been washing up in Mozambique, which is on the east coast of Africa, right by Madagascar there. And officials are saying that it's highly likely that they're part of the wreckage.
Yeah, it seems like that would be pretty easy to figure out if it was or not. But man, for those families, like all these years not having closure on it because it seemed to just vanish. Yeah. And then still to not have any sort of debris field and things like that is just absolutely bizarre.
So hopefully this will lead them to the main debris, the main wreckage site, and maybe they'll find some answers, but that it's still not clear. Sometimes fancy cosmetics are just pure hype. That seems to be the case with a new soap bar put out by Lush Cosmetics that incorporates beans into the bar to help massage away pain.
Oh, that sounds like a scam.
Fancy, yeah.
Okay.
But the beans are causing plants to grow out of people's showers and sinks.
Chia soap. Yeah, they've invented chia soap in essence.
Oh my goodness, they should sell it for more money.
Oh my goodness, how awesome is that?
Brilliant.
Yeah, like have you ever used the soap that has like loofah particles in it or like beads and stuff in it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's just so annoying. I know it's supposed to exfoliate, but it's scratchy.
Wait, why are you using it?
So one time is all I had. I had no option, and so I've used shampoo before when I had like a soap I didn't like, and I should have gone with that, but I didn't even have that. So it's like I had to use the loofah bar. Oh my goodness, it was like I might as well have gotten 40 grit sandpaper out and gone to work on that. No? Okay.
I don't even know where to go with this. And finally, there are amazing stories of animals remembering humans, but this might be one of the cutest that I've heard.
I'm not ready.
Okay, get focused, Betty. Don't cry.
I cried the other day over a lion that was reunited with their caretaker. Okay, let's go.
And then he ate him.
No, he didn't.
No? Okay.
Go.
4 years ago, a man in Rio de Janeiro rescued a penguin covered in oil.
Oh, penguins are the cutest.
Aren't they the best? I know. I have a soft spot for
They got
penguins.
their little tuxedos on. They're
know,
always
so
dressed
cute.
to impress.
That's so cute. I can't take it. But he nursed it back to health and then took it out on his boat to an island and released it, made sure it was okay.
I didn't know you were allowed to do that. Like take a penguin
Rio de
in.
Janeiro. I don't know. If
that's
there's
true.
Rules.
All rules, all bets are off there. Like here, I don't think you could own a penguin if one happened to show up here. I don't know that it would. But if for some reason there was automatically all of a sudden a penguin here, I don't think you could actually take it home.
I would name him Dapper Dan.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Come here, Dap. We call him Dap.
But the man did release the penguin to kind of let him, be free to live in the wild after he was nursed back to health. But that same day, the penguin showed back up at the man's house.
What?
And stayed for a few
Loves
months.
him. Oh.
Eventually, he migrated back to wherever he was from. But the next year, same time frame, he shows up at the man's house again.
Okay.
Just for a couple months. And
I
he's done it
literally can't.
I'm sorry.
every
I love
year since.
this story, but I'm calling shenanigans on it. Every penguin looks alike. He has no idea if this is the same penguin.
No, he shows up and the penguin, he comes out and the penguin, makes a little call.
Yeah,
It's like,
maybe it's a little birthmark
my
or
friend.
something.
Really?
That makes
Yeah.
him stand out.
Maybe.
And he
No.
knows, just by looking in his eyes, you can tell. It's
He
Dapper
knows.
Dan.
And he spends like 8 months out of the year there, right?
Yeah.
And then he migrates 5,000 miles away.
Wow.
And comes back.
I'm curious how animals, when you release them back into the wild, feel about that. Like, you've been taking care of them, you've been hand feeding them, you've been bathing them, letting them watch TV with you, and then all of a sudden you're like, go back to the wild, and the thing's like, what the? No!
There's no caramels in the wild.
Exactly. Why are you getting rid of me? Like, they feel abandoned. Like, you've actually done them a disservice by setting them free. All right, there you go. That is going to do it for the news. Thank you, Miss Becca. Coming up, we are actually going to break down a little bit of Myers-Briggs on each of us and tell you what the warning signs of different Myers-Briggs stereotypes. And we'll do that within 15 here on The Wally Show. This is the Wally Show, and there's a thing called Myers-Briggs. Maybe you've taken this for work, where it kind of helps assess how you are, how you tend to behave, and knowing this about yourself or about the people you work with or the people you live with, you maybe can alter your interactions. And so Zach is kind of a Myers-Briggs aficionado on the show. Like, he has this pretty much wired. Like, he's always analyzing people. He can tell you where you fall on the Myers-Briggs pretty quickly.
I have a book on speed reading people for Myers-Briggs, and it's been so useful in life.
Yeah, because obviously, if you know how somebody is and the best way to interact with them, yes, it could be used for evil and manipulation purposes, but that's not the design of this. It's to...
That's something an ENTJ would say.
That's
Yep,
me.
there
See,
it is.
he just did it.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I'm glad this is in Zach's hands and not yours.
Yeah. Here's what I hope you appreciate about this segment is the fact that we're willing to put our personal relationships on the line for your amusement as we dissect each other here and go through this.
Yeah, so while you're an ENTJ, that's known as the commander.
Boom. I'll take it.
Yes.
yeah.
Bold, imaginative, strong-willed leaders always finding a way or making one.
Well, thank you.
Making one, yes.
I will run over things to
Yes.
make things happen, 100%. And if those things happen to be people, okay.
Yes, but so the flip side of that, there should be a warning label with your type because there's tendencies that are known to come out.
Okay, so what would the warning label for anybody that's like me, ENTJ, for any awesome person like me that's an ENTJ?
Brother.
The warning label says, may completely rearrange your habits, routines, and long-term plans as they see fit.
Yep.
And then make you think it was your idea.
I didn't even care about that last part. All I care about is just rearranging everybody else's lives to fit into the view that I think it should be.
I was just telling my husband yesterday, I'm like, it's funny because if you leave the office before Wally, he's like, why are you going home? I'm still working. Look at me working. But if you stay after him, you're like, why don't you go home? Why are you still here? Why are you still working?
Let's get out of here, guys. Come on.
Yeah, come on, let's go. I'm leaving. Let's go. Yeah, you can't win with me.
No.
Is the basic premise of that, of the ENTJ. It's not just me, it's just our type.
Right. Well, and it's good to know because that gives you, when you know that that's just how someone's wired.
Exactly.
And you're just wired different, and that's fine.
That's what honestly, what I'm learning just in life and then going through this and even working with you guys is you guys are all very different from me. So sometimes it's 3 against 1 because you guys are similar in the fact that you're all introverts and you guys need different things. And so for me, sometimes it's challenging because you don't see the world none of you see the world like I see it.
I love that our similarity is that we're different than you.
Yes.
Because you keep, that's an exception to the rule in your mind that someone would be different than you.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But what I'm saying is I forgive you.
Oh my word.
All right, you know what? I think we've hit a stalemate or an impasse in this. We're going to continue this breakdown, and this will help you too. If you know your Myers-Briggs, this will definitely help you see the warning signs for yourself, maybe, and in others. And we'll do that within 15 here on the Wally Show. This is the Wally Show. We're finding out a little bit about ourselves via Myers-Briggs. And so if you know a little bit about Myers-Briggs, and it's a way to assess how you are and how other people are so that you can better interact with them, it gives you these letters that kind of describe you. Like, I am an ENTJ, according to Zach. And so I'm the commander is what that is.
I love that that's the one thing you took from all of it.
I heard nothing else after that. The rest might have been negative. I don't know, but I just heard commander. Boom. All right, so let's go to Becca. Zach, will you break down Becca real quick?
Okay, so she's an ISFP, which is the adventurer. She's a flexible and charming artist, always ready to explore and experience something new.
Really? Does that describe you?
I don't feel like it quite fits, honestly.
Interesting.
I don't see myself as an adventurer, but I don't like being stuck in the same rut either. So.
And you were just talking the other day about going skydiving, right?
That's true.
That is true.
Maybe you don't even know yourself. Maybe Zach knows you better than you know
possible.
you.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is weird. And we know Zach's never wrong, so there is that.
I'm not going to fact check that.
Okay, yes. So here's the deal. Like, Zach is coming up with the warning label that should be attached to Becca's personality type, so you know what to deal with.
Can I,
her.
for the record, I'm not coming up with this. This is an internet article we found.
Correct.
So,
yes.
Yeah, there should be a warning label with ISFPs, which is may completely disappear into the woodwork, never to be seen again the minute they feel pressured or intimidated by you.
Oh, that is dead on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you have this thing, like, when there's conflict, you kind of shut down. You fight back initially at first, and then you instantly go, and like, just you just fold into
She goes
yourself.
from fight to flight, like, instantly.
Instantly,
That's
yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
It's just a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
Where'd Becca go?
But it's interesting, and the reason we're talking about this is when you know this about somebody, as somebody, if you care about them, and you then need to figure out, and knowing that you go, okay, how do I interact with her differently to avoid that from happening? Because Becca and I get on these things where we're not quite on the same page, and she gets frustrated with me, and I get frustrated with her, and then she shuts down, which then makes me mad because I'm like, don't shut down. We're gonna work through this.
I think the other day my phrase was, "Sorry, but the worst person ever."
Yes, because that's the thing. She always goes to that. She takes it on herself, and then is like, "I'm a horrible person." I'm like, no one is
But
saying
I think
that.
there's the difference is she's a people pleaser.
Right.
And you, like
real
Zach
quick,
was saying.
real quick, this
no,
is about
like
Becca.
Zach was saying.
This is not about me.
You step on people sometimes,
'cause you're the
and that's
commander.
okay.
Right. Sometimes that
and
is
she's
my
a
job.
people pleaser, so I
Right.
think there needs to be there's a fine line there because you have an easy way of taking advantage of her because she wants to please,
Right.
Whereas you want to get your way,
Right.
She may want her way, but she's too much of a people pleaser to get that way, so she shuts down.
Interesting. Great analysis, Betty. Let's do Betty next.
Which is very interesting because this fits Betty perfectly. She's an ISFJ, which
Okay.
is the defender.
Oh,
See? Did you see that happen right there?
I just saw it happen.
mind blown.
Very dedicated and warm protectors, always ready to defend their loved ones.
Unbelievable.
Interesting in that case, she was defending Becca.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't me. She never defends me.
I was just trying to prove a point.
Yeah, by making me look like the bad guy.
You're trying to bring
doing
peace.
anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the warning label that would come with this kind of horrible person?
And there we go.
You need to be careful with this warning label.
Uh-oh.
May secretly resent you for years without you ever remotely suspecting it.
Oh, 100%. Although with me, she's pretty straightforward about resenting me. But with others, I could see that because Betty kind of holds things in, and then she just explodes. Like
I do.
Yeah.
But it's because I don't like confrontation,
Right.
and I also don't know how to verbally say what I want to say.
Believe it or
Like
not,
right now.
Yeah, believe it or not, I used to be like that. Like I used to hold everything in and I wouldn't say it and then I would explode. And what I'm learning though, and you have to be better about it sometimes than I am, but what I'm learning is it's more fair to the people that you like and that you care about to be honest with them and to deal with something in the moment, even if it's
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
but in the moment, you might be coming off as a big, huge, mean person.
Who, me, or are you talking
No,
hypothetical?
I'm
generally.
talking about me. Because
Okay.
if I say literally what I want to say, then I'm going to come across as a mean person, and then that person is going to feel bad. So then I have guilt on me now, and so it's better if I just keep my mouth shut.
Okay, well, here's what we'll do then. I'll just, when I feel something, I'll just say it, and you just hold in.
No.
Okay, no, this will work.
No.
This is going to be fine.
The commander has spoken.
Yes, we are done here. All right, we got to get to Zach's. Darn it, I want to get to Zach's because I'm really fascinated to see how he assesses himself. And
mine's way off.
Is it really? Okay, well, we'll do that in 15 here on The Wally Show. Hey, it's The Wally Show. Who's this?
It's Chris.
What's up, Chris?
I just wanted to call and say I think it's hilarious you guys are doing this Myers-Briggs thing. My wife and I literally just did this last night.
Oh, really? Okay, so what did you come out?
Honestly, I don't remember. It was the logistician.
Because this was your wife's idea to do this, wasn't it? He's like, I was out.
Totally was. Totally was.
Do you remember what she came out?
No. I'm terrible with remembering like 4 letters.
Yeah, the Myers-Briggs didn't work for you.
No, if you're a logician, you're the INTP like myself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you need to remember these facts.
Well, this is good. Let's break down Zach right now and the warning label that is associated with him.
So the logician is innovative inventors with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge.
Oh, of course you love this one.
Oh, brother.
Does that describe you too?
Yeah, mildly. I like to learn, but not standard ways.
He's like, I like to learn, but I'm not as obnoxious as Zach.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So, Zach, what is the warning label that should be there for you and him?
The warning label, and again, I don't see this at all, may fact check literally everything you say and catch you in any attempt at a lie or exaggeration.
Oh my goodness!
So
gracious.
these aren't all quite, perfectly dialed in.
That is dead on you. Oh my! We just talked about this the other day too, and Zach's like, I tend to fact check people more who are very confident because there's a sixth sense of justification that you get or justice if you point out a fact that somebody's wrong.
When someone's so sure of themselves, like if someone's not sure of themselves, they say something wrong. Like I don't care, whatever.
Right.
But when they're like absolutely dedicated, and I know for sure that they're wrong, I just can't resist.
And that satisfaction you feel is just incredible.
Yeah, see, and what I've actually started doing though, and with Zach, is because I know this about him, is I've started like couching what I say so that it's not as in the assertive.
As absolute.
Exactly, because now
then
I'm like,
fine with that.
I think it might be something like, because I know there's a fact check coming.
I'll let you be wrong if you're just thinking it.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think maybe, I'm not sure. Zach, I don't even know anymore, and then I just walk away.
They say it's smart not to talk about religion or politics.
He's the logic vacuum.
Well, we've never been that smart. It's the Wally Show News.
And speaking of not smart, here's Becca.
Oh, what? Hey, I'm talking about you.
No, it is, I guess. All right, so here we go. Break it down for us. What's going on?
The race for the Republican nomination is getting a little nasty after an ad was released featuring an old scandalous modeling photo of Melania Trump, and that told people to vote for Ted Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Now, Ted Cruz has said, I'm not responsible for this, and the ad even says, not paid for by a candidate, blah, blah, blah. But Trump doesn't see it that way, and now he's going after Cruz and threatened to spill the beans on Cruz's wife, Heidi, which no one is quite sure what that means.
Yeah, see, it's like, again, like... I get politics. I get it. Like, it's going to be nasty. You're going to fight it out. You're going to smear campaign. It's horrible that that's where it is. But there's got to be some honor in war.
Yeah.
Like, don't go after each other's wives. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous at this point. And Trump plays to win. And so who knows if he has anything. And I hope that even if he did, he would think better of it, and he's just mad right now. Because whoever did this, about his wife shouldn't have done that.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And Cruz should come out and denounce that. Like, Cruz should be all over that going, dude, I am sorry my people did that. That is not from me. You have my word as a man and my honor as someone who would never do that. I'm telling you, that's not from me.
Well, I don't think that Ted's honor means much to Donald, since in every single tweet he refers to him as Lion Ted still. So
yeah, I guess they're damaged. They're broken. We need couples counseling for them.
Yes,
that's what we should do.
Sometimes people make one mistake and it ruins everything. A woman in Dallas had her house damaged by a tornado back in December, so she's been waiting for the money to come in to be able to make the repairs necessary. But this week, she came home to find out that her house was completely gone.
What?
A demolition crew was supposed to wreck a house a block away, and they said that Google Maps misled them, and they ended up tearing down her house.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief.
And that's not the only terrible mistake someone made this week. A guy in Florida wanted to get revenge on his ex ex and the new guy that she was dating, which is never a good idea.
Don't
to
do
begin
that.
with.
If you're even processing doing this, stop yourself. Don't.
Exactly, because it could turn out like this.
Move on.
He broke into the dealership where his car was being repaired and set the car on fire.
Well, that seems appropriate.
Except he had the wrong dealership and the wrong car.
There it is. I'm going to say this girl made a really good choice to break up with this guy.
I think so, especially since he's going to jail for arson now.
Yeah, okay. Well, they couldn't have been together anyway, so perfect. She wins.
And as dumb as those mistakes are, this next story actually features a good decision made by a 5-year-old of all people. She was sitting on the side of the pool while her mom swam when her mom had a seizure in the middle of the pool. So the 5-year-old jumped in the pool, saved her mom, got her to the side of the pool, got her to the shallow end, and propped her head up above the water so she could breathe.
A 5-year-old?
A 5-year-old got her through the water to the shallow end, went inside, ran and grabbed her aunt, and then the aunt came out and helped pull the mom out of the water.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. At 5 years old, I don't think I would have had the wherewithal to at 25, I don't know if I would have had the wherewithal to figure all that out. That's crazy.
Isn't it? And it was their own pool, so I'm wondering if they really started early with that kind of training with her of like, if you see somebody, let someone know.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. And that kid is going to get the best birthday present this year, I'm sure. Like, the mom owes him for like forever. This is the Wally Show, and if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know that we do a lot of work with Bloodwater and love the work that they do. We go to Africa with them. We help them raise funds to continue doing work. Last year, we did a drill it and fill it event to get a drill rig that would work in Zambia, and people stepped up and bought this drill rig in 4 days' time. Something they hadn't been able to do in a year was done in 4 days. Like, I stand amazed by you and your heart for them and the work that they do. And we're getting ready to go in about 4 weeks or so with them to Rwanda, and so we'll tell you more about that as we get going. But it was a cool thing that happened this past Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday was World Water Day, and on the Today Show, Kathy Lee and Hoda decided to highlight World Water Day, and it's always cool when you hear your friends talked about it on TV.
Yeah.
And that's what Hoda did.
These friends of mine at Jars of Clay have started something called Blood Water. They're doing amazing things. One day, Dan, the leader of that group, was in Africa, and he saw the people there leaning down with their faces in just the dirt. And he said, what are those people doing? And what were they doing? They were looking for water. It changed his life. So he started bloodwater.org.
Yeah, like, that's cool, man. That will get them a lot of attention, which is great. I love that.
I hope so, because there's a lot of organizations doing a ton of good in the world, and Bloodwater is definitely one of them. And you don't always hear about all the organizations that are doing such good things.
I've been in places where they've done that, where they've dug, and what she was talking about is they dug to get any bit of the groundwater through the mud, basically, and so they're digging as far down as they can. They're burying their faces in this mud and trying to suck water up through it. Like, that's messed up. Yeah. Like, and the fact of the matter is that we actually can do something about that and alleviate that for people is such a great gift. So we're excited about getting to go to Rwanda with them. And again, you can follow along with our trip and be involved with our event that we're going to do with them here in about a month. But it's just really cool to see Hoda and the Today Show talking about Bloodwater, a group of guys and people that we believe so passionately in. All right, coming up within 15 minutes, we are going to do a little game. So if you'd like to play our Either, Neither, Both game, you can do so right now. We need a contestant. So if you want to play, 877-91-WALLY is the number. That's 877-91-WALLY, and we'll see if we can get you in. This is the Wally Show, and it's Either, Neither, Both, where we each will ask a question of two other members of the show. And Kathleen, all you have to do is say if either of the two have done this, neither of the two have done this, or both of the two have done this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, fantastic. So let's start off with Becca.
Okay, my question is for Wally and Betty.
Okay.
Have either of you ever purposely littered? So thrown something out of your car window, let something fall and not picked it up right away.
Okay.
Purposely littered.
Okay. So you got to decide if either, neither, or both of us have done that. You've got that banana peel sitting there. You don't want it in your car anymore, and you chuck it out the window. True story about Becca.
That has happened, yes.
And we've talked about this on the air.
But I'm not in the hot seat right now.
I know you are not. So what do you think there, Kathleen?
I will say both.
You're going to say both have done this, okay? Betty Rock, let's start with you. Have you purposely littered?
I did, but it was for a good reason.
Oh,
Hard to believe. I know.
don't believe that.
But let me explain the story. There was a little bird, and it had a nest, and you could tell that it had like pieces of string that it had collected from other places in it. And I had a shoestring with me, so I left it there.
That is awesome.
hoping that it would use it for its nest. I don't know if it did or not, but that was.
I actually love that story. It's wrong to litter, but that you did it for the right reason.
See,
You're
I told
absolutely
you.
right. I unfortunately have never purposely littered.
Never?
It bothers me to no end when people think the street is their trash can because they don't want it in their car anymore and they chuck it out. Drives me insane.
I had a friend litter out of the car while I was driving, and so I slammed on the brakes in reverse and made him pick it up.
Good for you.
Yeah, and then when we, like an hour later when we got to our destination, I realized the trash wasn't in the car anymore. He had snuck it out some other time.
Oh, good for him.
I was so mad.
Because I kind of like that too. I'm really vexed.
I was so mad.
All right, so that's one. You got to get 2 out of 3 right here. So, Zach, let's go with yours next.
Let's do Becca and Wally on this one.
Okay.
Have you ever fallen asleep during class?
Okay, either, neither, both on this one, Kathleen, for Becca and Wally.
Oh, goodness. I would say either.
Either. So one of us has, one of us has not.
Which one do you think did fall asleep during class?
I refuse to answer that.
Yeah, you know it's me. Yes, I have fallen asleep during class multiple times. I remember one time in 10th grade science, I fell asleep so hard and drooled so bad, there was a giant puddle, and when I lifted my head, it was still connected to the desk. And I was trying to do that. Oh, it's so humiliating. So yes, I am confirmed on that one.
I have also fallen asleep in class. I fell asleep at my desk last week. So
she's kind of narcoleptic. Okay, you know what, Kathleen? You have 2 more chances to actually get some right answers here, and we'll do that within 15 minutes right here on The Wally Show. This is The Wally Show. We're playing either, neither, both with Kathleen, and all Kathleen has to tell us is either, neither, or both people have done these statements. So mine is for Zach and Betty. You have won a medal for swimming. Is that true of either, neither, or both of them, Zach and Betty? What do you think, Kathleen?
I'd have to say either.
Going with either once again.
Yep.
Okay. Betty Rock, have you ever won a medal for swimming?
I have not.
Do you know how to swim?
Yeah.
You don't know how to swim?
No, I do. I'm just not good at it.
Okay.
So let's hope I'm not like in something that's like going to swish me away.
Oh, we should do a swimming contest because Zach loves to swim.
I do like to swim, and it's easier for me to float probably than Betty. I'm a lot more buoyant.
Yes. And that's not your fault.
It is. Anyway, unfortunately, I've never won a medal for swimming.
Man.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've never done any kind of contest for
I
swimming.
didn't know if you would have, as a kid, I didn't know if you would have been a swimmer because you like to swim so much now. All right, so we're down to the final question. You got to get one right to win. I've really lowered the bar here. I just like Kathleen. So, Betty Rock, what is your question and who is it for?
Mine is for Becca and for Zach.
Okay.
So your significant others, Joey and Sarah, they have their favorite place to eat, but you don't care for it so much. So have you ever lied about that place, saying you got food poisoning from there just to keep you?
All right. Ever told a white lie about the place to avoid going there? Have either, neither, or both of them done that? Zach and Becca.
Well, I'm not doing too well today, so I am going to say both.
You're going to say both?
Wow.
Even
I
knowing
am.
Zach's high tolerance for honesty and truth. Okay, or his high standard for that at least. I could see Becca doing this. Becca?
no.
No, you have
No,
not.
I haven't. I thought about it a couple times.
Yeah.
But I just tell them I don't want it.
Okay, yeah, and your word is law in that house. I get that. Zach?
No, I'm pretty direct. I'm like, I hate that place.
Okay, so
Yeah.
both of you have
Wow, y'all are
not done
selfish.
So it's less selfish to lie?
Well, maybe.
All right,
quote me
well,
on that.
Kathleen, I'm sorry that didn't go your way today, but we have a lovely parting gift for you just for playing either, neither, both with us.
Thanks, Wally. Love you all.
This is The Wally Show, and Wally at allwally.com is how you can always email me, and I get emails from people all the time, and I love when they're referencing something that has already happened on the show. And this was one, though, that was actually referencing something that happened in the podcast, just kind of spontaneous. Actually, it threw us off. We were in the middle of doing the podcast, and there was something that distracted me. And so Denise says, "Hey, Wally, whatever happened to that really tall guy you brought in one day who was interviewing at the studio? He was like 6'11" or something like that and had a higher than normal voice. But I need to know what happened to him." Well, here is what she's talking about. And I'll give you the update. But here is the conversation and the situation that was going on around this guy's appearance on the show.
You're so distracted right now.
I'm distracted by this giant outside of our windows. Have you seen that guy?
What?
Look over there. Is
it scary?
This is a guy that's applying for a job here, and BJ told me, he goes, he's 6'10".
Oh, whoa!
Yeah, see, thank you.
So tall.
That's
For Becca to say that.
He has to work here.
Yeah, so when, for me to be distracted for what, the other Jolly Green Giant in the room to say that guy's tall.
Gosh. I don't even know if he's got the job yet, but I already have the perfect Halloween costume for you two.
What?
You could be a kangaroo and you could be a
Did you look at him? No. Go look at him.
Yeah, let's have some fun with the new guy. He's applying for a job. Let's have some fun. Why are you guys getting all nervous?
I don't know what's happening.
Watch this.
I don't think I could get that mic high enough.
Hey, Gigantor, come in here.
Oh
This
my
is horrible.
gosh.
Yeah,
Making horrible first impression.
He's coming too.
He's going to beat you
Oh, my
up.
goodness.
Yeah, I don't know.
Beat you
I don't know
up.
if calling a guy you don't know Gigantor is allowed or not. Here, step over to that mic there, Captain Tall. So I got distracted by your height. What is your name, by the way?
Hi guys, my name's Aaron.
Okay. Wow, you have a high voice for such a tall guy.
You should hear me on the radio.
Really? Unbelievable. So, how tall are you?
6'10".
6'10".
6'10", yeah.
My goodness, did you ever play basketball or anything? That's an obvious question.
And how many times a day do you get asked that?
Oh my gosh. And usually my reply is no. How good are you at miniature golf?
Very good, because he's 5'6".
Keep them coming. I got many comebacks.
Oh. So good luck on your interviews
Thanks,
today.
Wally. Thanks, guys.
And
Good to meet you.
appreciate it.
Yeah, good to meet you. I'm Becca, by the way.
Yeah. He's like, I wish I had met under different circumstances. He's probably calling HR right now. Yeah, some of your employees called me Gigantor. Yeah, that's uncomfortable but funny. And I don't even know why I do the things I do sometimes. But the good news is he has a name. It's not Gigantor. It's Aaron. And he did get hired here.
Yay!
The bad news is after that, HR called me and said we kind of had to hire him. So there you go. I don't know if he's any good or not, but it's good to have him on the team.
These are the least important stories out of Hollywood, but nonetheless entertaining. It's the least of these.
And Betty Rock has got it for you. What you got?
If you're a huge fan of Chris Pratt, you've got the chance to hang out with him on the set of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
What?
Yes, he's doing this whole thing to support the Boys and Girls Club in his hometown.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so you have to make a donation, and every time you make a donation, you get more chances to actually get picked.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I actually looked at this because I think Chris Pratt is a good actor, and if you see something that you can enter, you're like, oh, why not? But then
and
I saw
he looks just like your husband.
Exactly.
Like, it's weird how much those two look alike.
It's so true, but there were some levels that were completely sold out, and I was shocked. Like the $300 level was sold out,
Really?
and you got like 30,000 entries that way or
What?
something like that.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I've actually been on the set of a movie before, and it is really cool. Like there's something about it because you see it in other movies about movies kind of thing, and there's something really cool about being on the set, and the catering's usually fabulous. So that's kind of cool. If you're a big Chris Pratt fan, that's a great thing.
Yeah. Many believe that the Kardashians are setting the wrong example for young people. So it makes sense when 20-year-old Kendall Jenner claims she didn't need an education. She said, people say the reason you went to college was to get a job, but I already have a job. And this is true.
Touché.
Since she makes $10,000 for every tweet.
Yeah, it is hard to argue that.
No, it's easy to argue that the reason you go to college isn't to get a job.
Right. No, I'm saying it's hard to argue the motivation in that, where if you're making $10,000 a tweet and you go, I could do that or I could go to college. I know you could do both.
No, but college isn't just about making money. It's about growing your mind
Bettering
and becoming
yourself.
a better person. And I could think there's room for that.
Captain Fun.
Boom!
Boo, Zach. No, I mean Betty's doing that right now. She's bettering herself,
and she has a dream job already, but she still wants to grow as a person.
But I wouldn't buy the 10,000 for every tweet.
I do think that though, like kids, in this case where they're making a bunch of money or they've become famous, it would be hard to go back. You have to be self-motivated in that, and you have to want to learn and expand your mind and to know more things so that you can talk smart things. As Olivia from The Bachelor said one time. But it's like it would be hard to find that motivation. You're right. When you're getting up every day and you're loaded, that would be difficult.
1.9 million people tuned in to the premiere of the new 19 Kids and Counting spin-off show, Jill and Jessa Counting On. With those many views, makes you think people have moved on from the whole family scandal.
Kind of forgiven it, and let's move on with this generation of the family.
But it turns out that the businesses might not be ready. At least 7 companies whose ads aired during Jill and Jessa's show demanded that TLC move them to a different show.
Really?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I kind of hate to see that. I don't know if it's a business thing where, they weren't drawing as many people as they thought that they would, so, hey, put us in a better show where we can sell our products, or is it
but
a commentary?
1.9 million?
I mean, that's not bad. For cable, yeah, that isn't bad. So I'm curious if it's a content thing, like we don't want to be associated with this anymore, because that's where, like, forgiveness has to come in, and you don't want to penalize everybody. But the flip side of that is you have to be mindful of your sin can affect everybody else too, and that's what happened. This one kid basically took down his entire family's new line of revenue because of his stuff and his mess. So that's the other thing to be careful of. So this is the Wally Show, and I got vacation coming up, and I'm very thankful for this because I kind of need a little bit of a break. And Becca, I believe it was, came up with this great idea. She's like, hey, you're going on vacation. Why don't we talk to people about horrible vacations they've had?
Yeah, because then you'll know that it's already happened. It's definitely not going to happen to you.
No, if anything could go wrong, it won't go wrong on my vacation.
He's so bad about focusing on the negative that he doesn't need any help with.
I know, but this will be fun because then I will feel better. I'm like, oh, their vacation was way worse than mine.
Or it'll stress you out, and that would be fun too.
No, nothing has gone wrong so far.
What do you think, Becca?
Thank you.
So far, well, actually, no. So far, it already hasn't been fun trying to book my flights through this airline that I've never flown on before, and they're very frustrating.
This is the one where they wouldn't let you sit with your family.
Yes, this is the one. I did get that worked out last night, finally. But
so you paid them more money?
No, I did not.
Oh.
No, I did not. No, I would not. And so got that worked out. So I'm hoping that the experience when I actually get on the plane, because they're known for their service, so I'm hoping that their service on the plane is better than the... And I know all this is whining. 100%, I'll be the first to admit that it's all whining because you're going on vacation. So I'm thankful for that. But I will take your stories now. 877-91-WALLY if you've got those vacation horror stories. That one you thought was going to be great and then just it went wrong. So I'm curious what that is. Something that maybe I can look to avoid in my own vacation as well. And I appreciate Zach and Becca, especially this last couple days as I'm getting ready to go out, helping me write a message for my emails about not reading emails when I'm gone and on vacation. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we are forbidding you to read your emails as they come in or even when you get done with vacation.
Yeah, I kind of work on vacation a lot, and I do all my emails, and I respond to people while I'm out, and I'll get emails back. I can't believe you're in Africa responding to us, like on a Bloodwater trip, but I'm kind of burnt right now, and that's why I need this time, and so I'm not going to be responding to emails during this time. So matter of life and death, hit one of these two up, or hit me up when I get back.
Or call 911.
First, yes, do that first. Yeah, that would be good.
That's what the lawyers would say to say.
Yes, do that, then reach out to the... No, so, but again, I'm thankful for everybody, but I need a moment to not answer an email.
Well, because you spend a couple hours every day on it, which you value, and it's a great thing. Right. But if you were to try to do it when you got home from vacation, you would have thousands.
That's the problem.
You'd have to spend 2 whole days just reading emails, and that's not.
And I respond to people's emails about just I like the show, and so I respond to that, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And so then you mix that within the serious ones of, hey, I'm really hurting, and so it's just a lot of email every day because I like to honor people that have taken the time to email us, and so I do. I always get things like, I can't believe is this really you? I'm like, yeah, who else would it be? Really?
I've had people ask for what's his real email address, like when we're trying to work stuff out, and I'm like, that's the one I'm emailing.
Yes. Yeah, you get the same email address as everyone on the show. So, all right, so there you go. What are your vacation horror stories to make me feel better about mine coming up? 877-91-WALLY's the number. This is the Wally Show, and I'm getting ready for my vacation, and I can be kind of a pessimist. I see, like, the negative stuff first. So, Sandra, I'm hoping you can help me out with a vacation horror story to maybe give me some things to look out for on my own vacation. What's yours?
Well, we live in Kentucky, and our youth pastors, when I was a teen, were getting married in South Carolina. So we drove all the way out there by the beach, went to see the wedding. It was great. Had a wonderful time. We were headed home, and we stopped at a restaurant to get something to eat, and we came outside, and somebody had stole every bit of luggage off the top of our roof. It had our clothes, our games, our camping equipment, everything.
Did you have it in one of those bags or one of those carriers, or did you just have them all strapped up there with duct tape and rubber bands and stuff?
Yep, they were all strapped up. We're from Kentucky. We improvise here.
Exactly. Maybe they did you a favor. You got a whole new wardrobe out of it.
Exactly.
This is the Wally Show, and I'm going on vacation, and so I appreciate you sharing your vacation nightmares with me so that I maybe will know of things to avoid on my own vacation. So, John, what do you got?
Well, it was about 25 years ago, so went on a honeymoon to Mexico. So we went to Cancun, and while there, on my honeymoon, got Montezuma's Revenge.
Oh.
Got a horrible ear infection where I couldn't even hear my wife talk.
Not so bad, though, actually, in retrospect. Yeah. If you had now what you had then, you'd love it.
And it was just one calamity after another after another.
Yeah, getting sick like Montezuma's Revenge on a trip is horrible. Like, I've been sick on a couple of our trips to third world countries, and it's brutal. So much so that when I travel even to first world countries, but I'm out of the country, I still have this hesitancy to drink the water or the ice, because that's a big thing when you're like in Africa. You don't do that. And so like in Europe, even if I'm at the airport, I won't drink the water or the ice, and it's so ingrained in me because I'm so scared of being that sick on a plane, because that is one of the worst places to not feel well.
Oh gosh, that's terrible. I mean, you're like so far from home or a bed or anything, right? Just to try to mend.
I even will watch myself if I go to Arkansas just to be safe. This is the Wally Show, and I'm going on vacation, and I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I don't want to have one of those vacation horror stories. So, Brittany, is there anything I should be on the lookout for?
We just got back from Texas in February, and we went there for a ladies' retreat, and we all decided we were going to go to the mall, and so we did, and when they got out, one of the cars had gotten towed.
Getting your car towed is the worst because you have trouble finding it first, and then it costs a bunch of money to get it back.
It does, and not only that, they said that when they went there, they had to go, it was just a bunch of ladies, so when they went to the place where the car was towed, it was like a really shady place, and they said only one lady could go back there.
Oh, no way. Really? You're like, no, not doing that. Yeah, how come it's every towing lot is always in the shadiest part of town? Every time.
That and parking garages. I don't trust either of them.
Me neither.
So who was the brave lady that went back by herself?
It was actually my mother-in-law.
There you go. She was expendable in your mind, wasn't she?
Oh, she was.
This is the Wally Show, and vacations have a way of sometimes going awry. So, Lindsay, will you share with me one of your vacation nightmares to maybe give me something to look forward to on mine, or maybe give me some insight so I can avoid it happening to me?
When I was very small, we were actually going to Disney World because my father did business with them in some capacity. And so while he was working, we were supposed to be able to get into the park. And we get to the counter, and they don't have any of our info. Well, he's already gone. and he's doing his thing, and we can't get in touch with him. So we're sitting on the curb crying.
Oh, in the happiest place on earth.
As a kid, to be that close to Disney and not be able to go in, that's just wrong.
I guess we didn't have a credit card on her or cash or something. There was some reason that she couldn't just be like, okay, whatever, I'll buy her tickets for the day. But,
yeah, she wasn't able to mortgage the house without your dad there to get into Disney because it's a little bit expensive. All right, that is going to do it for the podcast. Thank you so much for being a potty and listening to all of this stuff. Zach just reminding you about don't email me on vacation. I will. I honestly, I'm very thankful and it's very kind of you guys to
care about his opinion.
Yes, and care about the fact that it's kind of overwhelming for me sometimes, and the fact that you guys are like, you need to take that break because I'm not really good at always doing that.
I feel bad that it took us this long to realize that we needed to push you on that because you would not come to that conclusion on your own.
Right?
Or feel like you could come to that conclusion. So I'm glad.
Got to the point where I had to cry during Pledge Drive and talk about I'm quitting.
I missed that. You cried?
It was a cry for help. Oh yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
Really? Ugly cry?
Oh
no, he gasped.
And it was long. The break was long.
And I just can't.
Then I had a friend of mine who works here and he works in donor development and stuff, and he pulled the audio and was sending it to donors. I'm like, what is wrong with you, man? Stop that nonsense. I don't ever want to hear that tape again.
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm sure is the first thing I'll hear when we get back.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
I'll let Paul send it to you.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I'm going to use it as my ringtone.
You can't. It's just silence.
But
broken up by an occasional.
But in all seriousness, you put so much into this job and you put so much into the people who write you, and it's something that you truly do care about, and it's one of the things that you say, you can email me about anything and I'll get back to you, and I respect you for that. But even brain surgeons take a break. Even therapists take a break. You have to have a vacation, a complete vacation.
Oh my gosh! What if your situation was what about Bob? Do you remember that movie?
I do remember that movie.
He took
a vacation from your problems,
and he tracked him down. It's hilarious.
I could see that happening with a few people that I'd interact with.
Follow you to Europe. Wait, I have a problem.
That could happen, but no. It's good. I appreciate you guys kind of looking out for my mental well-being, as it's a little fragile right now. So
really?
Yeah. I'm not in a great place right now.
But we often do this. We don't take any vacation days till at the very end of the year.
Yeah.
And so 10 months in, you get it's really good that you're taking some now.
And I've always taken my email on vacation with me. So I would do email for an hour a day on vacation every day, and stuff. And so I never truly got away from just the grind of it,
It was like that for me when I used to schedule the music because that had to be done every single day.
Yeah.
And so you're on vacation, you're spending an hour in the middle of wherever, and it's this when you can never get a break from it.
Yep.
It's
Chris Tomlin don't take a break.
It messes with it. Yeah, exactly.
People got to hear the Chris Tomlin, and you had to make sure that happened.
Yeah.
Now we expect to be in full contact with you.
Oh yeah. If you guys need anything, you please email me.
No,
or
we're
if
gonna
the
leave
show
you alone.
if the show needs anything, please leave me. So I'm not going to respond to any emails during this time,
or even read them,
Don't
ever.
expect that they're going to be read.
Okay, I won't read any emails.
So don't email Wally until April 4th.
Okay, and then it will be just thousands. But no. I agree. No, it's not a great idea. Yeah, you guys will be fostering that during the whole podcast.
If everybody can send 10 emails.
No, stop it. Stop it. There are a few that will do that. Oh my gosh, and I love them all, but no.
With really huge attachments.
Yes.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. I was trying to set my my thing to do an auto response email for me yesterday, and the weirdest thing happened. I set it up and I did a test from my own computer to it, and it got caught in this circular loop. And I would delete it, and it would put it up 3 times. I delete it 6 times, delete it 9 times, and it literally. I eventually had 47 emails from myself trying to get out of this. It wouldn't stop.
It's like when a time traveler sees himself.
Yes, that's what was happening. I'm like, Zach! And you were already gone. I'm like, well, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I had to shut my computer off to make it stop.
So Zach, who is good at taking vacations these days, is going to help you, correct?
Yes.
Make sure
that
it is fully functional.
Yeah, we'll do a test before I get out of here.
Yes.
So, okay, that is going to do it for the podcast. Not that we don't love you, but thank
we
you.
don't. We hate you.
There you go.
So in the meantime, Becca at allwally.com.
There it is.
BEKAH.
There you go.